Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carly Stevens, and this is Carly Stevens Books for all things writing, publishing, and indie author life. And today, I want to talk about 48-hour books. So, welcome back. Let's talk about 48-hour books. I did an entire video before that covered the relative, the experiences that I had with 4 other print-on-demand services, which is what 48-hour books is. So if you want to see my opinions on Ingram Spark, KDP, Book Vault, and Barnes & Noble Press, then you can watch that video. In fact, I recommend it if you are shopping around for a print-on-demand service for your books. Now, I decided to add a 5th print-on-demand service, and I'll explain why. I'll talk about my experience, the pros, the cons, and then you can make an informed decision about your own books. So 48-Hour Books is a specialty book printing company out of Ohio. So that was really the main reason why I decided to switch from, rather than using Book Vault, which is quite a good print-on-demand service through the UK that did Power to Charm for me, cozy stories about a witch, a cottage, and unexpected friends, for my next special edition. And yes, it is a special edition, and yes, this is an announcement of what that's going to be. I decided to use 48-hour books because of the uncertainty about tariffs and that sort of nonsense. This is also a one-off special edition, and so I figured if I didn't love 48-hour books, I could, in theory, go back to Book Vault for any future special editions. So they are a special edition book binding service. Some things that differentiate them from Book Vault is that Book Vault can do box sets, but 48-hour books can do leather-like covers as well. Otherwise, their services are pretty comparable. They can do sprayed edges, they can do foiling, they can do end papers, although end papers with 48-hour books are in the beta stage, so you do have to specifically request the ability to do end papers and fly sheets, whereas with Book Vault, that is already all set up. So as far as what they're capable of doing, it is very similar. A lot of the same amazing amenities go with 48-hour books and Book Vault. Another pro to using 48-hour books over Book Vault is the relative shipping time. Now, I had optimistically thought that it would only take about 2 to 2.5 weeks to ship, to print and ship from Ohio. But it turns out that it is a bit longer than that. I'm filming this on November 15th. I just ordered the big set of special edition books. I was hoping that it would arrive just in time for that first week of December so I could ship out my new special edition for the holidays. But it is estimated to arrive instead on December 11th. So still not the 5 solid weeks that it takes to print and ship from the UK. It is faster, but it's not quite the speediness that I was anticipating from a print-on-demand service so close to home. Okay. So let me give you now that you've waited long enough, let me show you this book, and I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth about the quality differences, some of the things I've noticed with the company. Here you go. My new special edition is the Fae and Shadow Complete Duology. So this is under my Zora Fox very spicy romantasy pen name. Look at that though. Oh my gosh, so this is 2 books, End of the Forest and Trapped by the Fae. If you followed me for a while, then you're probably familiar with those, or at least the fact that I do have this spicy pen name. Now, this book is not only beautiful because it has the gold foiling, but it also has these absolutely breathtaking sprayed edges, gorgeous end papers. I mean, it's stunning. I will include the link down below if you want to pre-order yours and make sure you get it for the holidays 2025. I also did some fancy things here, bonus epilogues for each of the couples, etc. So let's talk specifics and compare my experience with 48-hour books and my experience with Book Vault. So now I have 2 special editions. This is slated to come out on December 1st, but it's not going to arrive until the 11th. It should, though, because I'm sending these out immediately, still arrive by Christmas. So definitely pre-order yours. There will be an option to just get the book by itself, or to get the book and some bonus themed goodies in a special edition limited release box. Anyway, again, the links will be down below. So when I saw this, when I opened this up, I was blown away. But also I noticed that the image was a lot darker than it appeared in the PDF proof. So I was really glad I got a proof copy. It does cost a pretty penny to get a proof copy with 48-hour books. I had to put down 140, 40 for the book specifically, and then the 100 I think was kind of a good faith investment in the massive order I was going to make. So when this arrived, I thought this is too dark, and so I uploaded a lightened version that looks almost over lightened, but I'm assuming it's going to be barely lighter than this. I'm hoping you'll also be able to see more of the detail behind here, because the detail behind here should look a little bit more like the detail here, and it doesn't show up. So I've noticed across books I've seen with 48-hour books that it does definitely print darker than it appears. This I made really light, really deep contrast, and it still looks a bit darker than I anticipated anyway. So that is a difference. We have the vibrant colors of Book Vault, and then just compensate for the fact that it's going to print darker for 48-hour books. Something else that I noticed as I was getting this all together is that I did actually have people reach out to me and say, you need to lighten up your sprayed edges. Their customer service is second to none, which is good because there are some drawbacks to 48-hour books and using them. So one of the pros, I would say the most resounding pros, is that everybody that I spoke to was incredibly professional, incredibly helpful. You can tell that they're in indie authors' corners. Literally, I did not have to reach out. They said, hey, this is not going to show up as light as you think. Lighten it up if you want it to really pop. And so I did, and I re-uploaded. So that was awesome. There is a chat feature, and it is not a bot. It is always a person. You might have to wait like 5 minutes for a reply, but you will get a person replying and walking you through whatever questions you have. So I had questions, for instance, about the end papers, because there wasn't an obvious place to upload those files, and I wanted to make sure, since it was in the beta phase, that I would absolutely get those end papers, because here's one of my favorite features of the entire special edition. Are you ready to see the back one? Look at that. Again, this is an 18+ book, so if you are a fan of Power to Charm or something, just be aware this does get really quite explicit. If you're over 18 and you like some spicy fae romance, go for it, but please don't get it and then assume it's going to be okay for somebody under 18. But anyway, they walked me through it. That was really nice. Another good thing that I noticed with 48-hour books as compared to Book Vault is that if you make a big order, I'm talking 100 books, then you'll get 25 free books on top. Now, that sounds like an insane deal, and in a way it is, but the book printing and shipping is so expensive that it actually ends up being pretty comparable to a Book Vault. Obviously, this one is costs less than this one just because of the size difference. But this, I pay for this approximately what I would expect to pay with Book Vault, even though it is international shipping and all of that. So I think if you are not going to buy in bulk, 100 books and then get the 25 on top, it's gonna be prohibitively expensive. So as it is, it's pretty darn expensive, but I intend to sell these out. I think that will happen pretty quickly. So to sum up the pros and cons of 48-hour books. Pro, you can get foiling, you can get sprayed edges, you can get images within the book itself, you can get a leather-like cover if you so choose. A pro is the customer service. Customer service is A+. A pro is the 25 free books if you order 100. Cons are that it still is quite expensive to order these books. So for more concrete reference, this first order of books that I'm making, each book, and this I'm taking into account those 25 extra books that I'm getting free of charge, still are over $30 per book for me to order so that I can sell them through my website or TikTok shop or whatever. So it is quite an expensive venture. Making it more expensive, something that I didn't anticipate and I didn't love, was that there are setup fees, not only for the entire book, like for Book Vault, there is a setup fee. For the overall book, it's about $20. But for this, each element, setting up the foiling, setting up the sprayed edges, setting up the different things, has its own one-time setup fee that added up. And so this first order is more expensive than any of the future orders will be. And I was not quite ready to digest all of those costs. So it is expensive. Another con is how dark everything shows up. So if you order a copy of this, it should look a little lighter than this proof copy because I did re-upload a copy so we can see Endy Mayan's face more clearly, because it really is stunning. Let me tell you. Here, it looks like this. I'll show you. It looks more like this, which is one of the items that you'll get if you get the special edition box. Always be plug-in. Yeah, another con is that it still does take about 3 to 4 weeks to ship, within the kind of contiguous 48 states. So not quite as much of a speedy difference to Book Vault as I was anticipating. It still is faster, but not speedy fast. So yeah, there you go. That is my 5th print-on-demand company experience. I'm quite glad that they have such good customer service, because otherwise I think I would just run back to Book Vault. They have good customer service as well, but it's not quite as proactive. They are actually proactive. You can tell that people are looking at your files and evaluating whether they're going to look good on the final printed product. So that, especially in this day and age of bots, really matters quite a lot to me. And also, look at this freaking thing. Look at how stunning it turned out. So if you would like to check out 48-hour books, I will have their link down below. You can investigate it for yourself, see if it's a good fit for you and your special edition. Okay, well, thank you for being here. Pre-order your copy of the Fae and Shadow Complete Duology on my website, the book itself, or the book plus all the goodies in that limited edition box. It is a spicy Fae romance duology about 2 sisters who get kidnapped into the Fae realm. The first story is about the more careful sister and the shadow-cursed king. The second story, a step up spice-wise, is about the wilder sister and her Fae bodyguard. All right, thank you for watching. If you have any questions about 48-hour books, I will do my best to answer. Just put those in the comments below. All right, bye.